focus our attention on the Divine Master and pray for the welfare of the whole humanity. Shanti Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Stapakaya Dharmasya Sarvadharmasvarupine Avatarvarishtaya Ramakrishna Yate Namah Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God Incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna from the Gospel. In last two classes we have thought of the importance of the holy association, how it is very essential in spiritual life. The famous scripture, Bhagavad, it says, the association which cultivated towards ephemeral objects out of improper understanding becomes the cause of bondage, transmigration. If you associate with worldly people, the result is you will be in bondage and you will have to keep coming and going into this world. But if that association is cherished towards holy persons, it makes for non-attachment. It says further that these holy people are verily the breakers of bondage. By coming in contact with these holy people, you will know exactly the technique of getting yourself free from bondage. There is another good result in coming in contact with holy people. The incidents about the glories of God, they become sweet like honey to the heart and ears. And with this liking will follow immediately faith, taste and devotion to the path of salvation. You feel more interested in spiritual life and it becomes remarkably inspiring to you to pursue the spiritual path. By devotion and thinking about the deeds of God, one gets dispassion towards the sensuous joys. Then the person will take up the path of yoga. He will try to control his senses, and he will not run after the sensuous things. His knowledge will be fortified with dispassion that makes him go towards God, and his devotion towards God is increased, and in course of time he will realize the indwelling spirit in this very life. So these are all the tremendous effects of the holy association. One may ask a question, how long one should have the holy company? The answer is, as long as one lives. You must be constantly in touch with holy people in order to maintain your spiritual fervor. Even God men and men of God desire the company of pure souls. What then to speak of ordinary aspirants? Sri Ramakrishna would fervently pray to the Divine Mother, "O Mother, where are your pure-souled devotees? Bring them here. Bring them. My ears burning by hearing the talks of the worldly people. I want to get rid of this burning. Please send them. Send those pure-souled devotees as soon as possible." In that way, Sri Ramakrishna was praying to the Divine Mother. Even Sri Ramakrishna was hankering after the spiritual people. Such then is the desirability of holy company. So, if you have decided to take up spiritual path, it is very, very important that you should be in touch with holy people till you reach your goal. That is the conclusion of my topic, Holy Association, which I was talking in last two classes on Tuesdays. Today I will take up another subject, very, very important to know, that is about the significance of death. A lot of things are there to know about this death. Everybody is dying. Everybody is passing through the sufferings of death. Sri Ramakrishna was filled with divine fervor. He was talking to Brahmo devotees. He said, the body and the soul, he was talking about these two terms. The body was born and it will die. But for the soul, there is no death. Very important point you should note. There is no death for the soul, death is only for the body. And Sri Ramakrishna gives the example of a betel nut. When the nut is ripe, it doesn't stick to the shell anymore. When it is green, it is difficult to separate it from the shell. After realizing God, one does not identify oneself anymore with the body. Then one knows that body and soul are two different things. As long as a man associates himself with adjuncts, so long he sees the manifold. But on attaining perfect knowledge, he sees only one consciousness everywhere. The same perfect knowledge again makes him realize that the one consciousness has become the universe and its living beings and all the cosmic principles. But when the manifestations of divine power are different in different beings, it is he undoubtedly who has become everything. But in some cases, there is a greater manifestation than in others. That means Sri Ramakrishna has told very clearly that God consciousness is everywhere, in every being. The whole universe is filled with the consciousness of God. But His power is manifesting in different ways through different channels. In some people, God's power is manifested more. In some other people, it is manifesting less. Anyhow, it is there, though the degree of manifestation varies. Again, Sri Ramakrishna tells, these are all statements of Sri Ramakrishna in the Gospel, which I am quoting today. Afterwards, I will take up this subject of death, how to conquer death, which is very important achievement if we are able to conquer it. Conquering death means what? You become aware of your true nature. What's your true nature? You are immortal. That's your true nature. Sri Ramakrishna says in the Gospel, God is engaged in three kinds of activity: creation, preservation, and destruction. These three activities are being continually monitored by the Supreme God. All will be destroyed at the time of dissolution. The whole creation comes to rest. Nothing will remain. At that time, the supreme power of the divine, which Sri Ramakrishna calls it as Divine Mother, she will gather up the seeds for the future creation, even as the elderly mistress of the house keeps in her hodgepodge pot little bags of cucumber seeds, sea foam, blue pills, and other miscellaneous things. The Divine Mother will take her seeds once again out at the time of new creation. That is how the continuity of creation is maintained. Now the next point is that birth and death alternate the life of a person. A child is born. When it is born, it brings out tremendous joy to all its near and dear ones. Even the mother who suffers extreme pain at the time of delivery, she feels immensely pleased and joyful looking at the baby, forgetting all her pains. But the child itself, what does it do when it is born? It cries. The first thing that it does is crying. It cries. Then it grows into an adolescent. Then it becomes a man or woman, according to its birth. If the child is a girl, he will grow as a woman. If the child is a boy, he will grow as a man. Then he performs deeds, good and bad, keeps on doing things, and grows old. Finally he bids farewell to this world, immersing his kith and kin in sorrow. All the people will be weeping and thinking about him. That is the existence of man, what we generally see in this world. People are born, are dying. Most people do so unwillingly, struggling to escape but unable to get out of the clutches of death. Nobody wants to die, but one has to die. That's a law of nature. People, they don't want to die because their minds are hovering about the hoard of wealth they have acquired, and they are deeply attached about the dear children that surround them. And last but not least, they are so much attached about their own bodies, which are so well taken care of. Though worn out so much, still they love their bodies. They feel too terrible to part with all these things, which I mentioned just now. So we find most of the people take leave of the world with some groans. The pangs of death are terrible. Everyone, whether a person is good or bad, whether a person believes in God or he doesn't believe, everyone will have to quit this world, will have to quit. So, what is the conclusion? The conclusion is, death is an inevitable process of this creation. It's a fact. Become aware of it. Don't simply close your eyes. I don't know. Don't say like that anymore. You are made to know. If you are not knowing it in the natural way, you will be made to know forcibly. Or the circumstance will make you know. The situations will make you know. The experience will make you know. Finally you will know it. Apariharya arthaha. That is, it is inevitable. Lord Krishna says in the Gita. That's the one thing that is certain in this universe. Forests are turned into cities, and cities turn to desert dunes. Where mountains are, there many form lakes in time. So uncertainty there is about everything. Everything is constantly changing, but death is very certain. For every being that is born, death is certain. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityuhu, Lord Krishna says in the Gita. All else is momentary. You had your forefathers, and they again their own. But where are they all now? What happened to all those people? Gone. Where did they go? They are all gone into the womb of death. So, what's the fact? The fact is that death consumes everything. So, death is inevitable. It consumes everything. The significance of death is therefore to make one aware of one's destiny. However high one may be placed, whatever aid of technology or medicine he may have, his end is, his final end in this world is either in a coffin or in a handful of ashes. Shall we then mourn our life in sackcloth and ashes? No, that is not the purpose of life nor of death. That will not solve the problem. This process of birth and death is going to be repeated. How long? How long we have to be keep on going this way? Until we know God, until we see God, until we realize Him in this very life. If you have not realized, it only proves you have to be born again. Again, if you have not realized, again come. How many times? As many times as needed. As I said, until you know God, you have to keep on coming in this fashion. Go pass through all sorts of experiences. Whatever experiences you have to pass through, you have to go through. There is no other way. There's a famous Upanishad, one of the 10 Upanishads. It's called Kenopanishad. It makes a pointed reference to this idea. It tells, if you know it here, you have the truth. You have all. If not, it is a great loss, the unraveling of a situation. Knowing it, that means Brahman, present in every being, the wise ones leaving this mortal coil, this mortal frame, they attain immortality. This passage of the Upanishads implies 4 things clearly. One is that there is a life after death. Second, there is a way of living by which one's life can be fruitful here and a blessing hereafter. thirdly, that all life lived otherwise than in this manner is a colossal waste. Lastly, that the way to immortality lies in seeing divinity manifest in every being. So these are the four important points clearly referred in the passage of the Kenopanishad. There are two significant words which we should properly understand and analyze it. One is called Mrityu, death. The other one is called Amrit, immortal. We talked about these things all along. The goal of human life, the goal of everyone is to attain that immortality, to realize the true nature of immortality. So, after death, one becomes immortal. It looks as if it were a contradiction. Apparently it is. But what is it that dies? When you say death, what is it that dies? Can we say it is a body? No. Why? The body is there. The body is there, though the spirit had sped away. The spirit has left the body. Body is there. Then what kept the body moving all along, all these years? The spirit. So, how do you understand the meaning of death? So, death is a separation of this material body from something which we as ordinary men are usually ignorant of, but which those who have felt and experienced it call spirit, the Atman, Jiva, or self. And the Atman, they say, becomes immortal. What's the meaning of that? Was it mortal then? Now we are calling it immortal? No. But in common parlance, we can no more describe it than in this way. For man sees the body and thinks that he is that much mass of flesh and bones. Very few can transcend that idea. So it is spoken of that, in that way. So we shall discuss this subject more in the next class. So death is only separating the body and the spirit. Death is inevitable, and one has to keep coming and going, to be born and to die, as long as he has not realized God. That means as long as he has not realized his true nature. So that is what is implied in this phenomenon, death. Death comes to make you aware of the things, so that you can prepare yourself properly, so that you can live the life properly before death snatches away your life. Page 585, page number 584, let me read. Page 84. Sri Ramakrishna is telling to Marwari devotees, the rules for a sannyasi are extremely hard. He cannot have the slightest contact with lust and gold, he must not accept money with his own hands, and he must not even allow it to be left near him. Lakshmi Narayan Marwari, a Vedantist, used to come here very often. One day he saw a dirty sheet on my bed and said, I shall invest 10,000 rupees in your name. The interest will enable you to pay your expenses. The moment he uttered these words, I fell unconscious as if struck by a stick. Regaining consciousness, I said to him, if you utter such words again, you had better not come here. It's impossible for me to touch money. It is also impossible for me to keep it near me. He was a very clever fellow. He said, then you too have the idea of acceptance and rejection? In that case, you have not attained perfect knowledge. My dear sir, I said, I have not yet gone that far. I'll laugh. Lakshmi Narayan then wanted to leave the money with Hriday. I said to him, that will not do. If you leave it with Hriday, then I shall instruct him to spend it as I wish. If he does not comply, I shall be angry. The very contact of money is bad. No, you can't leave it with Hriday. Won't an object kept near a mirror be reflected in it? Devotee asked a question. Revered sir, is a man liberated only when he dies on the bank of the Ganges? Master said, it is the knowledge of God alone that gives liberation. The Jnani will certainly attain liberation wherever he may die, whether in the charnel pit or on the bank of the Ganges. But the bank of the Ganges is prescribed for a bound soul. Devotee asked, Revered sir, why does a man dying in Benares become liberated? Master said, a person dying in Benares sees the vision of Shiva. Shiva says to him, this is my aspect with form, my embodiment in Maya. I assume this form for the sake of the devotees. Now look, I am merging in the indivisible Satchidananda. Uttering these words, Shiva withdraws his form and enables the dying person to see Brahman. The Puranas say that even a Chandala, an untouchable person, endowed with love of God, achieves liberation. According to this school, the name of God is enough to liberate a soul. There is no need of such things as worship, sacrifice, the discipline of Tantra, and the recitation of mantras. But the teachings of the Vedas are different. According to the Vedas, none but a Brahmin can be liberated. Further, the worship is not accepted by the gods unless the mantras are recited correctly. One must perform sacrifice, worship and so on according to spiritual injunction. But where is it time in the Kali Yuga, in this modern age, to perform the Vedic rituals? Therefore, in the Kali Yuga, in this modern age, the path of devotion prescribed by Narad is best. The path of karma is very difficult. Karma becomes a cause of bondage unless it is performed in a spirit of detachment. Further, the life of man nowadays depends on food. He has no time to observe the rituals enjoined by the scriptures. The patient dies if he tries to cure his fever by taking the decoction of herbs prescribed by the orthodox native physicians. Therefore, he should take a modern fever mixture. According to Narad, the devotee should sing the name and glories of God. The path of karma is not the right one for the Kali Yuga. Bhakti Yoga is the right path. Do your duties in the world as long as you need them to reap the fruit of the actions of your past lives. But you must develop love for God and be passionately attached to Him. The singing of the name and glories of God destroys the effect of past action. You don't have to perform duties all your life. As you develop unalloyed love and longing for God, your duties become fewer and fewer. After the realization of God, they completely drop away. When the young daughter-in-law is pregnant, her mother-in-law lessens her duties. After the birth of the child, she doesn't have to do any household work. Several young men from the village of Dakshineshwar entered the room and saluted Sri Ramakrishna. It was about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. They sat down and began to talk with the master. Young man asked the question, "Sir, what is knowledge?" Master replied, "It is to know that God is the only reality and that all else is unreal. That which is real is also called Brahman. It has another name, Kala, time. There's a saying, 'Oh brother, how many things come into being in time and disappear in time?' That which sports with Kala is called Kali. She is the primal energy. Kala, the Kali, Brahman and Shakti are indivisible. That Brahman of the nature of reality is eternal. It exists in past, present and future. It is without beginning or end. It cannot be described in the words. The utmost that can be said of Brahman is that it is of the very nature of intelligence and bliss. The world is illusory, Brahman alone is real. The world is of the nature of magic. The magician is real, but his magic is unreal." Young man asked, "If the world is of the nature of illusion, magic, then why doesn't one get rid of it?" Masters answered, "It is due to the samskaras, inborn tendencies. Repeated births in this world of Maya make one believe that Maya is real. Let me tell you how powerful inborn tendencies are. A prince had in a previous birth been the son of a washerman. While playing with his chums in his incarnation as a prince, he said to them, 'Stop these games. I will show you a new one. I shall lie on my belly and you will beat the clothes on my back as a washerman does, making a swishing sound.' Many youngsters come here, but only a few long for God. These few are born with a spiritual tendency. They shudder at the talk of marriage. Niranjan has said from boyhood that he will not marry. More than 20 years ago, 2 young men used to come here from Bharanagar. One was named Govinda Paul and the other Gopal Sen. They had been devoted to God since boyhood. The very mention of marriage would frighten them. Gopal used to have bhava samadhi. He would shrink from worldly people as a mouse from a cat. One day he saw the boys of the Tagore family strolling in the garden. He shut himself in the kuti lest he should have to talk with them. We shall stop here. So you must become aware of the reality. As long as you are in this world, you have to pass through the experience of death. Birth and death alternate till you realize God. In fact, every time you are taking birth in order to achieve the goal of realization. But for some reason you are not paying attention in that direction. So you keep on coming again and again. That's the topic which I just started today, which I will be again talking in the next Tuesday class also. Any question to ask? Do you have any? Why? Why? Oh, it's good. It's good to open. What is that? What is it? Nothing wrong. Yeah. The first question is, what you think at the hour of your death will determine your future course of life. But unless you practice very intensely from the beginning, you will not be able to have the spiritual ideas at the time of your death. In whatever way you are engaging actively and deeply in activities, those things will determine your moments of thinking at the hour of death. As I said today, that people on the deathbed, they are unwilling to get out of the body, they are unwilling to die because they are thinking about what would happen to their wealth which they have accumulated, what will happen to their wife and children, the family, who will take care of them. So all these things bother him. So in that botheration, he tries to cling to the life, but he cannot. He has no power to cling on. There is some mysterious power which simply plucks him out of the body. So, but because he was deeply thinking about those things, that means again he is to be born in order to work out what he had thought of. So like that it keeps on giving him more and more births. But in that fashion he will not know the mystery of death, he will not be able to conquer death. You know it very definitely, then you are not afraid of your body or anything. That's the example Ramakrishna gives, the betel nut. When it is green, it sticks to the shell, you can't separate it out. But if you allow the fruit in the tree for some time, in course of time the inside, the nut separates out, and if you shake it, it will make a rattling sound. It is no more in touch with the shell, it is separated. So like that, by practicing yoga, by practicing devotion, by contemplating spiritual ideas, you will attain that state. That means you will separate yourself from the body complex, body-mind complex. Though you are in the body, you are not attached to the body. So you know very differently when the death comes, death is only separating you from the body. And even before death comes, you know you are not in the body. So what is birth, what is death to the soul? So that one has to realize that divine nature. If a person doesn't try in that direction, then his life is considered waste. That means he has lived the life for nothing. So much of scientific exploration is going on, so much of nuclear weapons they are developing, all sorts of things they are doing. What for? What do they gain by that? Could they conquer death? No. So, unless you turn your mind towards spiritual way, you will not be able to conquer death. That's the idea. All right, we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. Our name streamed down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its cup to knowledge of thyself, O self, drowned deep in the waves of his bliss, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name, that both were weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No time so set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge than is meritoriousness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass, be patient and forbearing like a tree, take no honor to thyself, give honor to all, chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As I am many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy consider him as dust beneath thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when instant separation from thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou who stealest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real, lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy, may all be free from disease, may all realize what is good, may none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, may the tranquil be free from bonds, may the freed make others free. May good betide all people, may the sovereign righteously rule the earth, may all beings ever attain what is good, may the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time, may the earth be blessed with crops, may all countries be freed from calamity, may holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied, for he being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased, he being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.